no alcohol, for this is a Muslim country. But Gaddafi is not a fundamentalist. The Islamic fundamentalist groups are as much a threat to him as they are to Blair. Lunch over, he sped to a press conference in Tripoli. Looking out of the window, he might have seen why Gaddafi is so anxious to open up the economy, battered cars and very little consumer choice. At this point, Mr. Blair was no longer accompanied by Colonel Gaddafi. That meant there was no danger of a repetition of the kind of embarrassment in Syria, where his host publicly criticized him. Instead, Mr. Blair heralded the benefits of the meeting.
I was particularly struck at our earlier meeting with Colonel Gaddafi by his insistence not only of Libya's determination to carry on down this path of cooperation, but also his recognition that Libya's own future is best secured by a new relationship with the outside world. The one thing I thought that was very clear from the conversation that we had is that in the view of Colonel Gaddafi, the steps that have been taken are irrevocable steps. Of course, we've got to go into this with our eyes open and be fully aware of the pitfalls, as I say, but it is remarkable progress given where we have been.
And he said Libya had set the rest of the Arab world an example.
We are showing by our engagement with Libya today that it is possible for countries in the Arab world to work with the United States and the UK to defeat the common enemy of extremist fanatical terrorism driven by Al-Qaeda, and to ensure that we have a more secure world because of the absence of weapons of mass destruction.
He left claiming this meeting had shown the value of negotiations. There is a risk Gaddafi may at the very least offend the West again. But the belief is he has renounced terrorism for good, and that will make the world a safer place.
Libya agreed last year to pay more than $2 billion in compensation to the families of the 270 people killed when Pan Am Flight 103 was blown up over Lockerbie. But it still does not accept criminal responsibility. It insists it has no need to apologize, and its prime minister said recently it's making the payments only, in his words, to buy peace. So the Blair visit is not popular with the families that lost loved ones at Lockerbie. John Ray has this report.
Can a leopard change his spots? Can a tyrant truly turn his back on terror? Britain is convinced he can and believes this is the proof. Libya's nuclear secrets boxed up and packed off to America. It's a long way from Lockerbie, where so many died at the hands of Gaddafi's agents. The relatives of British victims are conciliatory, not so in the US.
What's being discussed now is to pour money into Libya to make sure that this particular murderous regime remains in power permanently. There's even talk of military training for Libyans, Libyan troops. I mean, what message does this send?
There are painful emotions too for those who remember Yvonne Fletcher, killed by a shot fired from the Libyan embassy in London. The thawing in relations means British police will now travel to Tripoli to investigate.
I think it's a very important breakthrough. It will allow us to actually interview people that we've not been able to interview before, and it will take the inquiry on, and I'm very hopeful to bring a result.
The handshake was historic, though its timing so close to the Madrid bombings was troublesome. Yet today the Tories toned down their attack.
I think we need to be certain that he has changed his spots before we actually endorse him.
Libya has been a major funder of terrorism, major supporter of terrorism, very dangerous country. If we get them on the side of international law and order, it'll be a huge step forward.
Older, perhaps wiser, perhaps weary of playing the outsider, the Colonel now needs the West, its know-how, its money, and in the shifting sands of international politics, he knows we need him too. John Ray, ITV News.